Hello, welcome to the final installation of Battle of the Battles, where you get to decide which is the most significant Revolutionary War battle of the backcountry. If you're just joining us as we battle out the most important battle, you can find my fellow Rangers' presentations on the 96 Facebook page or by visiting each of their pages. To make this competition a little bit more fun, we decided that we were not able to choose battles that took place at our own sites, so you'll see that we have all chosen different battles. I'm Ranger Adrian from 96 National Historic Site. My fellow Rangers have done an excellent job of advocating for their chosen battles, but I think once you have heard why I chose the Battle of Great Canebrake, you'll agree that it is the most significant battle. By choosing the Battle of the Great Canebrake, I'm taking us back to almost the beginning of the Revolutionary War in South Carolina, about as far as you can go, to December 22nd, 1775. Although it's a small battle, it does help shape how the revolution in the backcountry and really all of South Carolina unfolds. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's go back, take a step back to some of the events that led up to the Battle of the Great Canebrake. In early November 1775, the Provincial Congress of South Carolina appointed Colonel Richard Richardson to lead an expedition of 2,500 men into the backcountry of South Carolina to silence the discontents of the backcountry and deliver up the bodies of all principal offenders. Richardson and his men will not forget that these were their commands, and this is what they have been charged with. As they progress through the colony on their way to the backcountry, they will stop and camp at the congeries, where they are joined by many volunteers. And this is not the only place that their numbers will start to swell. By December 22nd, Richardson estimates that their force consists of between 4,000 to 5,000 men. While Richardson was making his march through the colony, things were kind of heating up in the 96th district, and the Battle of 96 actually began and happened. Hearing of the battle, Richardson headed to 96 in hopes of bringing reinforcements to the Patriots there. But by the time they arrive, the battle is over, and the month-long cession of arms is signed. One of the agreements in this cessation of arms is that should any reinforcements arrive to Major Williamson or Major Mason, the Patriots, they also shall be bound by this cession, in quotes. Despite the fact that Richardson and his men arrive in the area less than a month after this month-long peace is supposed to be taking place, and that they do know about the agreement, they vote in a council of war that it does not apply to them. And so, with this decision made to negate the articles, they will set out to disperse and capture the loyalists that they can. In mid-December, they find and arrest Loyalist leader Thomas Fletchell, who was hidden in a cave, and Captain Richard Paris, as well as several other prominent Loyalists. Among Fletchell's things, they find papers from the royal governor, William Campbell, as well as the supposed location of more Loyalists, about 200 Loyalists, under Patrick Cunningham and Joseph Robinson, who had just been at the Battle of 96 and signed that cession of fire. It was believed that Cunningham and Robinson were in the Cherokee territory and that they were hoping to meet with the Cherokee and convince them to join them in attack on the Patriots. On December 21st, the Patriots, under Richardson, are camped at Hollingsworth Mill on Rayburn's Creek, which is in present-day Lawrence County. The information that they have leads them to believe that the Loyalists, 200 Loyalists under Cunningham, are camped about 25 miles away. Richardson dispatches 1,300 men under the command of Colonel William Thomas of the South Carolina 3rd Regiment of Rangers, and they enter into the Cherokee land in hopes of finding Cunningham and his followers. They do find them that night, and they kind of prepare for battle. They are located on the Reedy River at an area called the Great Canebrake, which is in present-day Greenville County. Like I said, Thomas and his men are ready for battle, but he has them lie low until morning, when they will surround and attack the Loyalist camp, catching them completely off guard. Of the 200 Loyalists, 6 are killed and 130 are captured. However, both Cunningham and Robinson do escape into the Cherokee land and go and join the Cherokee. However, to the probably hilarity of the Patriots, Cunningham was so surprised that he was said to have escaped without his breeches, and he had to ride his horse bareback. Probably rather embarrassing. Of the 130 men captured, 10 of them were captains. Once Thomas and his men and the prisoners rejoin the main forces, they will march out of the Cherokee land and begin returning home, especially once a snowstorm hits just afterwards, and the snowstorm will dump about 2 inches of snow on all of the unprepared men, both Loyalist and Patriot. Like I said, many of the volunteers return home. The prisoners are taken to Charleston, and while many of them are released and allowed to return to their property, return to their families, others are held prisoner, are imprisoned, especially those such as Thomas Fletchel, who are believed to be extremely influential in the backcountry. Fletchel himself is actually stripped of his titles to go along with being imprisoned. In the end, it is a very small battle, and I suppose you could say it's not really even much of a battle. It's more of a surprise attack. But regardless, the Battle of the Great Canebrakes does shape the Loyalist activity in the backcountry for the rest of the war. It eliminates any possibility of a large-scale Loyalist attack or any large-scale Loyalist activity at all early in the war, and the Patriots make sure that they are in control of the colony, both the low country and the backcountry, at least until the British start in on the Southern Campaign. But even then, the Loyalist support that the British believe they will get when they get to the South Carolina backcountry is just not there. And that is partly due to the Battle of Great Canebrake, which broke the spirits, almost you could say, of the Loyalists. If this battle had never happened, if Richardson had been just a few days later and got caught in the snowstorm, if he had not received the intelligence telling him where the Loyalist camp were, if the more Loyalists had escaped, then all of the battles that have been mentioned by my colleagues could have drastically changed, changing the whole outcome of the war in the South, and possibly even the whole outcome of the war in general. So I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope that you will take the time to check out the rest of the Battle videos, and that you will decide who won. let us know. Post comments. If you have any questions, let us know. We'd be more than glad to try and answer them.